Here we are in Yarrabah. We've just arrived at the Gindaja rehab service. I'm really excited to look at their model of care, the history of this service, and talk about some of the great work that some of the individuals are doing. So let's go in and have a bit of a chat with them.
So Gindaja is a alcohol and drug treatment and healing service within the Yarrabah community. So we have a 19-bed residential facility, and we also have a learning and wellbeing centre situated in the centre of the Yarrabah community for day clients to come in for non-residential programs.
The Gindaja facility consists of a residential building containing bedrooms, bathrooms, shared kitchen and a recreational area for the clients. A cottage for overnight staff, gardens, fruit trees, veggie patches, a space for cup murrays and a lot of other open outdoor space. The treatment building is where all of Gindaja's programs are run and was the very first building of the centre.
About 40 years ago, there was a number of concerned people in the Yarrabah community that saw the effects that alcohol and drugs were having on the community. So they banded together to form Gindaja. So Gindaja actually was set up from someone's house, and they were volunteering doing AOD treatment from their house and helping people out with addictions. And then the land that we're on today, about 30 years ago, was donated to Gindaja from the Yarrabah Council and families in the area, and Gindaja was formed. And about 20 years ago, the facility that's here now was built. We were funded by federal government to build that facility. So the facility is ageing now, but we hope in the future to extend on that.
The Learning and Wellbeing Centre, which Elsa mentioned before, is based in the central township of Yarrabah, is a holistic service that aims to do a range of things from prevention, early intervention, right through to case management and working with families and other kind of family and friends of a person who's got a drug or alcohol problem. We do events in the community, we do health promotion in the community, we go into the schools and we talk to the kids about alcohol and drug issues and information. The purpose really is to go out to community and promote healthy choices in lifestyle that are not alcohol or drug related. So, you know, when we do when there's community events, often those community events are alcohol and drug free.
We hold an open day here at Gindaja for community to come in and look at actually what our clients have done over the last 12 months. And we do that in conjunction with NAIDOC Week. So during that time too, we're bringing a lot of cultural activity into the centre, but also for the community to be involved in, because that importance of having culture as part of your healing is really important.
When we had our open day, you know, we've got kids running around everywhere and families coming in there. It's really well attended, and it's also just as much about what we talked about before, which is demystifying this thing around alcohol and drug, so that, but you know, we're taking away those stereotypes from within the community and allowing people to see the centre and what's in here and mix with the, you know, the staff and with clients and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a very positive event that is really, you know, about promoting health and connection.
We found that a lot of the clients that come through have identified that anger is a big contributing factor to their choice, I guess, of wanting to indulge in drugs and alcohol in a way to mask out some of the issues that they carry around with themselves, like emotionally and mentally. The anger management program was developed and designed by Gindaja and adapted from a previous evidence-based program that we came across from another rehab centre. So we've redesigned it and adapted it in a way for our own community here in Yarrabah, but also for the needs of many of the clients who seem to come across with anger issues. We felt the need that a lot of the court referrals client within the community needed to address anger, so that clients have a good understanding of what is anger, how does anger impact on themselves individually and as a family and as a community in general, the impact that and the destruction, I guess, of what anger does. And it's only through programs such as this that, they get the opportunity to have that understanding of what they're carrying, and that that there are others out there too. It's not only themselves. But also giving that opportunity for them to look within themselves and what they need to do now to move forward, especially thereafter admitting some of that stuff that they either been a victim to or have witnessed, as a child, and but also not having them to carry the blame in their life, what they've been carrying around. One of the things I do when I encourage the clients, after or during the program, is I encourage them to put into practice what they've learned or that's been planted in their heart, as a seed and so forth, that they go away and put it into practice and become that better role model, for themselves, their family, and the community. Go back and be a leader in their community.
We run day programs at the Learning and Wellbeing Centre, which is for everyone. So it's not these day programs like family wellbeing and anger management and alcohol and drug awareness are not just for people who are experiencing drug and alcohol problems themselves. It's for everyone. So we'll have family members coming along to that. We'll have parents. We'll have teenage kids coming along to those, and learning about what alcohol and drug issues there are, both in community as well as what tends to happen in families. And then we also do kind of one-on-one yarning about what families and what people, friends and other people can do to help somebody who's got a drug or alcohol problem. And then on the same side as that, we're also based on harm minimisation. So we're really also about looking at how does the harm that's associated with drug and alcohol use get reduced.
One of the great things about this service is Gindaja has developed a model of care which guides and informs the workforce and ensures that they have continued success as they move into the future.
Gindaja's model of care has a focus on what we do and then how we do it. The idea is that it puts everybody on the same page in understanding both the issue and how we define and look at and understand alcohol and drug issues in an Indigenous community such as Yarrabah, as well as how do we then approach the healing and recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. So the first part of the model of care articulates our 5 key service areas. So the first one is health promotion and education, which is the universal kind of population approach where we're targeting everybody in the community to better understand what alcohol and drug issues there are and what some of the underlying causes are for that. The second part of the model is learning and wellbeing, and that's focusing on things like on our day programs, like our anger management program and our family wellbeing program, and yarning about Yarndi and those kinds of things. Again, opened up to the whole community, but starting to specialise, I guess, and talk more about what some of the underlying issues are. The third part of the model is residential recovery, which is where we are now, which is our 19-bed recovery centre in the outskirts of Yarrabah, beautiful rainforest and the sea. And here is where we do intensive treatment for people with alcohol and drug dependency. So this is a tertiary kind of service. The fourth part of the model is aspirational at this point in time, simply because we haven't been funded for it, and that is what we call a step-up program. Our program here is for 3 months, and it was identified well and truly before I came on board that 3 months is not a long time. When somebody's been on alcohol and suffering alcohol dependence for 20 years, 3 months in a rehab is not going to fix it, right? It will buy them time out, it will start the process of recovery and healing, but it's not time enough for a person to actually, heal and recover from a lifetime of trauma. So what happens often is that they finish their program and then they're back out into the big, wide, wonderful world, 3 months clean and sober at the most, and often they'll go back because there's very scant support after that. So the step-up program, or the step-up phase of our model, is about extending support to people who have finished the 3-month program. So that would be a shared house, a supported shared house, where we have workers attached to that to help people then go on to the next phases of their life and support them to stay clean and sober, or to stay on their recovery path. And even if they were to slip up during that time, to then support them to get back on the recovery path as soon as possible. So the final part of the final key service of our model is after and continuing care. And that is also plugging into that notion that it takes a long time for somebody to recover from a lifetime of alcohol and drug use. And that will follow people out of the rehab into their own communities. So we get lots of people here from the Cape, so they'll come down from their own communities and they'll do their 3 months program here, and then they'll go back up to their community. So our aftercare and our continuing care program visits the Cape, so we actually fly workers up to the Cape and spend a couple of days in different communities and catching up with clients who have gone back. So that kind of encapsulates the what do we do. The how do we do it is 8 principles of best practice, and they range from things like honesty and compassion, flexibility, being culturally competent and culturally secure, so that all the things we do are done within an Indigenous and culturally appropriate framework. There's other things like confidentiality, privacy and confidentiality. So these are principles that we're saying to the whole of Gindaja, our workers, our managers, our board, everybody. These are the principles that we value, and this is how we're going to deliver our services based on these good practice principles. And that kind of sums up our model of care.
Gindaja is a service that blends preventative with intervention practice, highlighting the importance in the way they work with their local community. This goes beyond just delivering a service. It's how they build capacity, create sustainability and independence from their preventative, early intervention and intervention practice.